I'll just have a cup of coffee.
Beer it is.
No, I said coffee.
Beer.
Coffee.
B-ear.
C-O.
B-E.
What? No. No. What? No. What? You went into the attic? I'm very disappointed and terrified. Why don't you bring this potato? It's pretty big.
Mom, you're always trying to give me potatoes. What is it with you?
I just think they're neat. Why do birds suddenly appear over there, over here? 8 spices. Some must be doubles. Oregano. What the hell? Oh no, not Lenny. Not Lenny. Kids, turn off the TV. I have some bad news about Lenny.
Not Lenny!
Live from the epicenter of independent cinema, it's Film Stuffs with your host, Jake S. Weisman. Tonight's guest, performer, writer, and producer, Dakota Loesch. With me, the original Edward G. Robinson, Jack Quint. Let's start the show!
What's happening, film dorks? Welcome to another week of Film Stuffs. I cannot begin to tell you how excited I am for this particular episode. And if you're watching, it's probably because you know Dakota. You know that this episode's going to be, there's a great CSNY song where they start Southern Man, and Neil Young goes, "This is usually a really slow song, and we're going to play it real long tonight." So we'll see how it goes. We're really going to bathe in it tonight. I'm really, really excited. We got some news, okay? Some big news Hollywood way. It's not necessarily independent news, but it does change the landscape of everything. First of all, AT&T said, "I don't want WB anymore, no more," and they sold it to Discovery Plus. Now Discovery Plus and WB will be doing one of two things. Either they will be joining forces and you'll be able to watch all of your your House Hunters and shit, all at the same time you watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. You can do it all at the same time. It's going to be one sweet package. But is that the end of it? No, it might just be a sweet package so we can sell it to somebody who has a lot of money. So will WB, HBO Max, Discovery Plus end up a Disney prospect? Will we finally be able to do our Marvel DC crossovers legally? The prospects are endless. We're talking maybe Apple. They're saying AT&T got out of it because they don't want nothing to do with it. They're a tech company that they thought they would make money on, and it just ended up losing money. So Sony already sold to Disney. What else will go under the umbrella? Oh my gosh, so much to talk about. Then the other big thing, Amazon Prime bought MGM for $9 billion with a B. We were saying that it might happen last week, and guess what? It did happen a couple of days ago. And this, I think, brings us to a wonderful conclusion to what we've been talking about for, I believe, the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks even, about how certain independent films are no longer on Prime. They are there to be rented, to be paid for, but they're not free with your Prime membership. They were clearing out space for all of the MGM titles that are now going to be for free. So that might not be the actual conclusion, but that is my conclusion. There's no reason to ask, why'd they kick Scrapers off when I uploaded it? Why do they want more money from me? They're about to put on hours and hours of Stargate and Rocky and James Bond and hey, Jack, come here. Jack.
Here I am.
Hey, Jack, what else? Do you know what other MGM goodies? RoboCop, they're talking about RoboCop again. Can you believe it? This is $9 billion.
Sure, the money's there. They already have the studio. It's obviously worth it to them.
as someone who's been with me for the last 5 weeks, I mean, you've been with me for the last 20 years, but as somebody who's been with me for the last...
In heart and in mind.
in the last few weeks, taking this journey in real time, is this a satisfying conclusion, buddy?
Not really. It's just business as usual. I think that it's what you're saying, that things are just going to get shopped and sold around because that's just kind of how it works. You know, there's just a contract that people have and says, well, listen, I'll own the rights to this for a certain amount of time. I'll shop it to you. You can own it, you know, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll get it Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and that'll be how we sell around these movies and these TV shows. And that's nothing new. And that we've seen it over the last several years with, you know, Netflix, Hulu, and just everyone kind of how titles get added and removed very quickly. And we're like, what the hell? I just want to watch this movie that was here last week.
Right.
So it's just going to be up to you and me to start IndieTube.
It's true. We're working on Planeswave. We'll get there. We're going to get to that.
But before we do any of that, please like, share, and subscribe our show. You can go to jellyrollchicago.com and remember to watch us live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. If you are watching on YouTube, you are getting the highest resolution in full HD 1080p. Wow. And that's going to be really helpful when we do our Film Stuffs So Far
in
festival.
Surround Sound, where you can find it.
In Dolby.
Doubly.
Is that
He said doubly.
He said doubly. Is that next week that we're doing the Film Stuffs review?
Yeah, Film Stuffs So Far, Volume 2, next week. We're going to be showing work from Erica Wester. So a short, Welcome to Hell. We're going to be showing a couple of shorts from Simone Kissel, and we are going to be showing a couple of Clean Sheets episodes starring our guest tonight. Oh, you're so... And we might even have a guest, I believe. If we're lucky, Simone's going to be joining us for the show.
Excellent. So we have a star-studded selection of films.
If you want to do a Q&A, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you have any questions for the filmmaker, let's ask some questions. Let's get interactive.
Yes.
It's live. It's interactive.
Oh, please. Yes. You can write down your questions now. You can email us your questions now. If you smoke a lot of pot, like somebody on one of these screens has been known to do, and goes, man, I had this good question all lined up, but I forgot what it was. I wish I had written it down. You can do that right now. And
why would you throw yourself under the bus like that, Jack?
It's legal in New York. It's legal.
It's legal in Illinois. What are you talking about?
It's legal.
I'm blessed. There's a store a 10-minute walk from me. Anyway, we can go on and on about who said what and who forgot what question. But I really want to
show so that we can start IndieTube.com and that we can be the ones to house all the bandwidth to host all of the wonderful independent film artists who work really hard to make their films happen, really want to show it, but instead we have to make way on Amazon so that they can show us a wonderful MGM catalog.
I mean, MGM is that's some old Hollywood right there. There's going to be some goodies in there.
Darn, man.
But I don't want to waste any more time.
Let's get Dakota out.
Our next guest, I've known for years now. I want to say upwards of 7 years or something like that. I think tonight we're going to be going through the entire timeline. But I think right when we start, let's bring him in so he can sprinkle a little magic dust for us. Dakota. Hey, welcome.
Just wanted to give you a little Chicago reference off the bat there, buddy.
Hey.
And I will see you on the other side.
I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your help.
Dennehy.
Bulls. Does Jack just go through the warp here in the background? He just like shoot.
Well, he's on the other. He's watching now. He's on the other. Oh, thank you so much, Bones.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you.
Hopefully, Jack will come back.
We'll see you in the sequel, number 2, to Search for More Money. So first baseball reference already done.
We love it. We love to see it here, folks.
We're off to a great start.
I guess,
buddy.
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Me too.
Thought I knew where to start, and now I'm dying to know what you think of. I do want to talk shop. Like, what do you think of this? You know, if anyone can appreciate MGM for its history, it's you. I
think you got a good read on it too. Look at those DVD cases back there.
This is the combined library of a couple, but we got some goodies in there.
You love to see it, folks.
So what are your, I mean, we should inform everyone you live in LA.
I
You
sure do.
are an interactive theater performer. Of course, the pandemic hit. You have starred in several feature films. You
That's
have
true.
some amazing things on the pike, some things that we can and cannot talk about.
Ooh.
Dakota Loesch is in NDA territory, ladies and gentlemen. NDA territory. That's how you know it's a good get.
I don't mess around with the law, only in pictures when cast to do so.
So we'll just a little base for that. And we have so many clips, so many trailers. We're going to go through everything.
Heck
but
yeah.
Living in LA,
Love it.
I mean, so what's like the news? Do you feel the ebb and the flow of all this business that's happening now that things are opening up?
I think that's just an earthquake. I'm not sure.
Oh no!
No.
Go under the bed.
No. I mean, I'm definitely been like keeping track of this as, like everyone else is. I think, out here, it's just industry with a capital I. Like the main brag is variety. So I think everyone knows a little bit about it. And it's just a big deal that, everyone's savvy about media nowadays.
Right.
And so you know what it means when Amazon buys MGM and, like then if you take like you want to talk shop and talk inside baseball and look at it a little closer, I think like it is the creation of these new studio systems. You know what I mean? Like the older studios are now more just running real estate, and these new like Netflix, Hulu, Vudu, they can operate out of the top floor of a building and be the new studios and rent from the current studios. They're now setting up libraries of past classic films. They're now buying their own theaters where they're going to be able to distribute and then therefore be Oscar eligible. So I think we're seeing one pipeline closed off as a new larger pipeline kind of opens up. And it's kind of the Wild West again, where everyone's figuring out how can we get in here, but I think there's some room being made,
Sure. Is it exciting for people or is it devastating for people?
I'm excited. I mean, I think, if you look back at history, this happens before a new like epoch of, I don't know if you want to call it commerce or creativity or
Right.
filmmaking, cinema, all those things really, And I just think these are signs of a larger shift towards media rather than, film, television, web series. That's all kind of the same thing now in some people's minds, the consumer's mind,
Right.
So this is something that impacts consumers as much as it does the industry too. So,
Sure.
and I think we're all going to get more movies out of it. I think we might get to make more movies out of it. I think if you guys start what you were talking about, that could get picked up and be something that finds its way in, So people are looking for more media. We spent a year and some days just burning through it, every single one of us.
That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do Film Stuff so far, to be able to show the art that our guests do and then have people go back and actually put it all together and then just amass this kind of content.
Yeah.
So
the web, it's like a giant star system spiraling in the background.
Something like that. Speaking of
yes,
stars and spiraling,
yes.
One of my favorite things about you has been is that you have very unironically said that your favorite Spielberg film is Hook.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And before we get too far in, this is what I wanted to do. Will you just bring us through the magic of Hook?
Oh yeah. Okay.
In that special way that you do?
Okay. Crash course. Just like, this is why I'm just going to sum it up to you why it hits me right and just try to do it real quick. Okay. When I saw this movie, I didn't know the difference between movies. I didn't know what was Hollywood, what was independent. I didn't know what was good or what was bad. I didn't know anything about it. I certainly didn't know like box office opening weekend, and that had no influence over my decision making. And I saw this movie and just fell in love with it. I was a kid. It was a little pirate romp, and there's that guy from all those other movies and he's the dad, and this is fun. This is a great movie. And as I grow up, to me it becomes the most serious, hardcore exegesis on growing old, on watching love grow old, on watching the people you care about grow old and die, on failing those people. It starts in a midlife crisis, and it's kind of the most, well, not the most autobiographical film Spielberg's made. I'd make an argument for it. This is
Until the next one, right?
It's right before he puts out Jurassic Park, and Peter Banning is on the phone talking about how like his deal for X billion is getting shut down because of the mating radius of an owl. And he goes, tell him that there's always been cost to evolution. Ask if anyone misses the T-Rex. Okay, so who is Peter Banning, the guy who's running away, like having a midlife crisis, wants to do better by his family, but still wants to dream and never. Anyways, the older I get, the more it continues to hit me. And it's one of me and my buddy Scott, who we made that movie Anchorage together. I'm sure we'll talk about that. That's the first movie we saw when theaters opened up back out here. That's like a huge bonding point with us and a lot of people I know. And it's kind of like a weird litmus test I have with people. Like, okay, what kind of level are you on? What do you think about Hook? So,
it's the chocolate chip cookie, the General Tso, if you fuck this up, I don't know how to go forward.
We're still friends, but it's like, if you know it, I'm like, well, Peter, you've become a pirate. So then we're off to the races. Thank you, Dame Maggie Smith.
I had the pleasure of seeing you in an interactive one-man show in Los Angeles where you were writing crazy things on the wall, and no one can captivate an audience like you just live. Like, it's just him in a lab coat.
That was a fun one. Yeah.
It was unbelievable. There were every show had a different theme. I got to the movie one. I got to go to the movie show. And it ends with the entire show after an hour of this amazing writing and performing ends with Dakota telling everyone to close their eyes. And he just goes through Hook. And it's like, it's the most beautiful thing in the world.
I'm so glad you reminded me of that, because honestly, like that was like an hour-long show, and every night I would just write out a piece of paper that looked like this. And I'd be like, okay, that's the show, and then I wouldn't bring it out with me. I just like remember it. It was a drawing that I was going to replicate much bigger and crazier. And so I totally forgot that was the end of the movie.
Oh, really? You were playing the piano? There was piano being, you were doing the theme?
Totally.
I was lucky enough. We did a Scrapers screening. Dakota's the lead in Scrapers, and
thank you very much.
When we did it, we did a show at the Red Line Tap in Chicago, and he did a solo guitar show afterwards, and he did the theme to Hook. Among everything else, you can actually buy that album on your Bandcamp, right? DakotaLoesch.com.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I'm doing all. Yeah, I guess I'm pretty busy.
You just integrate Hook into everything, so
it's not going away. That's not. Going.
There's just I don't know. That kind of represents the ineffable thing about you, and how I'm lucky I feel to have you on a set, and why I keep wanting to have you on a set and keep writing you stuff, because
love working with you. You know it.
You know it. We got one coming up. We'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit. Also, very proud to say that was the same show that I accidentally sat down next to Stephen Fine, who directed Love Shot.
Stephen Fine, director of Love Shot.
We just happened to sit down next to each other, and we couldn't stop talking about how much we love you. Hey, Jack, could you play the Love Shot trailer if you don't mind?
Let's do that. I'd love to do that.
Because it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, it's funny. They teach you how to gamble about the same time your dick gets hard. No wonder we got a fucking gambling problem in this country.
We didn't have this meeting on the books. Is there something you wanted to discuss with us?
That's kind of hard to explain.
If you have an issue, then speak up. There's no need to be coy.
I guess I'm just curious. Why her?
10 fucking years and I don't know how many hits. What's different about this one?
Short guy, Pershing Square stop. You give him $25 and this guy will make you a vinyl mixtape. When I was a boy, I learned not to cry.
Oh, a wandering roan, and how very sweet and romantic. I like that idea.
I just feel like I met you and it was like getting shot. It's like getting shot in the stomach, and now I got this heaviness there and it just won't go away, and I don't want it to go away. If you ever change your mind,
one spin. Let's play dreidel.
I don't know from Joe Blow. I'm sorry, I stole the trailer.
That gave my free little plug. That was awesome.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you for the trailer, Joe Blow.
That was so fun, dude.
I watched this movie, so settle down because I got some questions.
All right,
not settle down, settle in is
settle
what I
in.
meant to
Let's
say.
go.
Settle down.
Round one.
All right.
Here we go.
Calm down.
Yeah.
I'm talking to myself here.
Me too.
What a great little movie. This is a movie that is on Prime. It is an independent film, and it's still free. Out of all of my friends' movies that got taken off of Prime in this entire the last few weeks,
good on
Love Shot still has the clicks and is still being watched. It's about 80 minutes long, and it is such a joy to watch. I cannot recommend Love Shot enough. It's so interesting watching it and seeing these influences, and I'm gonna have to get Steven on the show.
Oh, absolutely. We can definitely hook you guys up.
It's a wonderful blend of like 70s hitman movie, but then the whole thing takes place in Koreatown, so there is a distinct Korean film flavor of the movie in terms of structure. And it's kind of edited, not quite as hardcore as the Limey, but it has like this kind of Soderbergh Limey editing feel to it.
He's going to talk your ear off about this movie. You guys are going to be off to the races.
I see him. Because there are these things where I always say, this movie, while people lie in it, the characters are unbelievably upfront about everything that's going on. So instead of there being this web of lies that you think the movie is going to be, it ends up actually being like you get to these points like 20 minutes before you think you're going to get to these points, and then you're left being like,
it moves around in time in
right.
Interesting
and
ways.
Then it's just like throw vinyl into it and Motown into it and Jews into it, and I'm like, gangster. So
there you go.
Why? And it makes sense. Like, I mean,
yeah, and it's like a real nice dish. Yeah, I don't know. I remember as far as like references, the one that I remember talking to about with Steven when I was still auditioning. He asked me, "Have you ever seen this movie, Something Wild, by Demi?" I was like, "No, I haven't. I haven't seen that yet." Now I just moved out here. I was visiting some friends, and I went to see a movie with some friends. It was a double feature at the New Beverly. It was Something Wild and Married to the Mob.
Oh, that's
great. And I was like, this is kismet. You know, I kept saying it on set. Was a kismet kind of set. But yeah, I told him that afterwards. It might have helped with the audition. I don't know. But it was that I definitely see was a great reference point. And when I saw Something Wild specifically, and the aspects of Married to the Mob, I guess how it played with violence and kind of brutally, even in such a outlandish, fun, comic setting, I was like, okay, I get this. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And yeah, it just like totally made sense to me and clicked after that. And then there was all kinds of movies, like I think the main character, he wants to be in like Le Samurai, or he wants to be. Yeah,
you can see the Le Samurai poster.
He wants to be Alain Delon. You know what I mean? He's like studied on gangster movies more than he has studied on. I mean, he knows how to be a gangster, but he knows all about that more than he does falling in love. And that's why it's kind of like it's wearing Alain Delon's clothing, but it's kind of like a John Hughes movie under there, or a coming of age thing, or a romance.
Very Gross Point Blank. You can totally see Gross Point Blank of it all.
Little salt, little sweet. You know what I mean? A little this and a little of that.
I mean, you are a superstar. This is.
Oh,
I mean,
this whole thing just threw it out.
I'm gonna say this again.
No,
and if you want blowing smoke, whatever.
No, I know you're.
It's one of these things where it's not like I watch every day, but I start a Dakota movie. And I see your face and I go, oh, fuck, you're my favorite actor.
Oh,
I'm so glad you're in stuff. You are my absolute favorite actor.
Well, I'm going to keep trying to be in stuff. I'm out there making those calls. You know I am.
Oh, well.
Bumping elbows during the, until we opened. And now it looks like we'll be shaking hands soon again.
I think I know, right? Can't wait.
Some people want to leave it in the past, and I'll see. That's up to another debate.
I can't wait to talk to Steven about a little boxing picture that I wrote for you, maybe.
Oh, heck yeah. He'll talk your ear off about it. His wall is like, I think his wall wraps around too. He's got a hell of a collection. You guys got to talk about it.
Jack, will you play our clip from Love Shot? We do have a little clip, like David Letterman. It's like a Letterman.
Yeah,
hey,
you want me to set up the clip?
Oh my God, yes. Yes. So this is a film called Love Shot. You can watch it on Amazon Prime. Tell us about it, Dakota.
Well, it's a hitman love story. I think you described it really good so far. But this clip features, let's just call out some great actors: John Capellos, Amy Sang, and Scott Monahan. And who else is in there? God, who am I forgetting?
The bartender who plays the Tony's right-hand man.
It's gonna drive me crazy if I get his name wrong. Give me 2 freaking seconds, because Dakota does his homework and Dakota don't leave no one hanging. I'm telling you.
Yeah, everyone's watching right now. So
I know. I'm building up to the. He
was wonderful, by the way. Everybody in this movie.
We're gonna punch him in later. I got no reception.
Okay, anyway, well we got this clip. I can look it up and we'll send it to him.
And just pay attention to who I run into at the bar there, and because I think that actor might be popping up later in our little, walk down memory lane here. So see you on the other side.
See ya.
What about my heart, Karen? What about the agony and pain that you have caused my heart? I don't think there's enough fucking money here for that.
Sorry, Tony. I realized there are some things I thought I can change and I can't.
Where the fuck did you read that, Cosmopolitan? You know what? I regret ever having given you my love. I don't want to see your face. I don't want to hear your name ever again.
I understand. You won't have to. I'm gone.
The fuck out of here. Let's go.
Wow. What a fucking coat. Thanks, man. That's great. Does it come in adult sizes?
Then you said someone held you side and it made you feel alright, but I just couldn't make that night.
What the fuck's going on here?
Hi, Tony.
Karen, don't.
I love that.
Yeah, so we had Amy Sang as Karen, we had John Capellos as Tony, we had Cruz Kim working the bar there, and then we had a little familiar face there that I got into a fight with. Who is that guy?
Oh, well, tell us about him, Dakota. Tell us about that guy.
That is my friend Scott Monahan. We actually met out here in Immersive Theater. Fun fact, he's the one who recommended me to Steven. He told Steven to come out to our immersive show with this company, Ceaseless Fun, we were working with.
Okay.
And Steven he's like, I think I got your hitman for your movie you wrote. And so that's how I met Steven, went to audition. So it was thanks to Scott I got in the movie. We got to have a nice little fight scene. And when we were on that movie, we were like, dude, let's make a buddy flick at some point, So.
And you actually went ahead and made the buddy flick.
Yeah, buddy is a really relative term with these two knuckleheads. But yes, we did make a movie that I'm really excited to talk to you about.
Man, it's so impressive how you can carry a movie. Like you've been in 3 or 4 features where you're genuinely carrying the movie.
Thanks, buddy.
No, it's quite a feat.
Well, it's always a group project too. You can't do. I mean, it's always like. The ones that I think actually, especially when we first started out, we were just doing it for literally nothing, eating peanut butter and, you know what I mean, playing with rocks. That was like the ones that would work out is when everything felt good. Everyone was on the same page. We were doing it for friendly reasons and fun and the dream of it. And so I've kind of always looked for that going forward, even if it is for little pay or if it's for good pay or whatever. it's like I just want to have that feeling of we're in it for the right reasons. It's something more than making a commercial thing. Like, let's get together and let's stick together if it feels right. That's why I work with people I work with over and over again. You know, I've done, you know, we've done coming up on we'll have a third one coming up here soon.
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem, God willing. And then, you know, Scott, I did 5 immersive shows with, and then we just made our first feature together. So.
And that movie is called Anchorage, yeah?
That's right. It's called Anchorage. You want me to give you the tagline? This I have down pretty good.
Okay. Okay.
Or should we just, you know what? How about we roll the trailer?
Okay, Jack, why don't you do us a favor and roll that trailer?
All right.
Can't wait.
All right, here, let's go. All right, let's go. Flee. Flee. Flee, fly. Flee, fly. Flee, fly, flow. A flee, fly, flow. I'm a llama, kuma llama, I'm a llama vista. I'm a llama, kuma llama, I'm a llama vista. Oh, no, 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 not the vista. Oh, no, 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 not the vista. Eeny, meeny, yes, the meeny, you what you wanna meeny. Eeny, meeny, yes, the meeny, you what you wanna meeny. Acha meeny, you what you wanna meeny, wah. Acha meeny, you what you wanna meeny, wah. Beating belly, open dope, bobos, get it, dot, bobos, squat, dot, bot, dot, chow.
I'm in love with that film. I was lucky enough. You were kind enough to send me
a little test screener.
A test screener for it, and I have to say, as ominous and as put together as it seems in that trailer, that's exactly how it comes off. It's
heck yeah.
It's basically just the two of yous, right?
It's pretty much a two-hander. Yeah, not to give too much away, but there's pretty much a two-hander to it, and but it was
Well, tell us about it. Tell us about
So it's about these two brothers who got this dream to make a kill-in with a little interesting con. You know, they're gonna drive a trunk full of opioids from where they're at in Florida up to Alaska to cash in big, but something along the way kind of derails that trip and sets them on a new course. You know, maybe like a crash course with tragedy. So yeah,
I got you. Are there movies that you are comfortable saying are influences?
Yeah,
they might. Kind of a feel?
I mean, they might just be funny ones. Like, you know, Hook was one that me and Scott bonded over.
That actually makes perfect sense watching that movie. It makes actual perfect sense watching that movie.
It's got a little blend to it of that, you know, heavy light thing, and it's about families and it's about weird dreams and chase. You know,
very
you don't think too much, but and then one that I know we both love is Mikey and Nikki.
Oh my God! Yeah, I mean, Clean Sheets is hugely. It started as an actual remake of Mikey and Nikki. So.
It's like when in doubt, Elaine May. You know what I mean? I honestly think this one kind of goes Ishtar to Mikey and Nikki. You know, in some way.
I'm dying to see Ishtar. Someone brought it up recently, and I'm like,
buddy, I think it's amazing. I think that movie is so fucking funny, dude. And you know what? It's my favorite Warren Beatty role. He is hilarious in that movie.
There it is.
Dude, songs by Elaine May and Paul Williams, like co-writing.
Oh, really?
It's just outstanding, dude. And not to give you a pitch on that, we do not have a clip for this one coming up.
Sorry, guys.
Dustin Hoffman, Warren Beatty are two ne'er-do-well singer-songwriters in New York, can't get hired, and their agent's like, what if I send you out to Morocco? I got a job for you out there. You know what I mean? And then they get embroiled with a political uprising and comedy ensues, fall in love with the same person. I don't know.
Is it like one of those like Stripes type Cold War era feels?
And what that is, why those are all came out in that era is because all those like Elaine May, Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, they were all influenced by the Bob Hope and Bing Crosby on the road pictures, like on the road to the Sahara, you know, or if you would go the funny way, it'd be like, you know, Laurel and Hardy meet Frankenstein,
right?
You know? So it's like those kind of two-handers, whereas they get into some hijinks, you know, and So those kind of movies were a huge influence for sure. And Field of Dreams, that I know that's a weird one.
Field of Dreams, really? I've never seen that movie. I've never seen Field of Dreams.
Well, just like Costner was like, if you were growing up, when we were growing up, Costner was like a movie dad. He was always like that age in the movies. And like Robin Williams too was like a movie dad. It was just like, oh, there he is again, So that was
especially with Miss Doubtfire coming out when it did.
Absolutely. Hello. It was run by Fruiting.
We won't get into how that he tried to kill him. He tried to kill him by the end of that movie. There's a murder. There's an attempted murder at the end of Mrs. Doubtfire.
But there's family. So there you
Pierce
go.
Brosnan did nothing wrong. The entire movie does nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But
he just looks too damn good.
I'm so sorry. I got caught up in myself. Sometimes it's hard because I've seen that movie so many times.
Love that picture. Love them all.
Love them all.
Hell yeah.
So Anchorage, is it gonna be in theaters? What's the story? What can you tell us about Anchorage? Where's it going?
Exciting news coming up. We're like so close to announcing which festivals will be starting first. It's like we got to wait to announce one so we can announce the rest. And
we can say that there are festivals in play.
There are festivals, and we're figuring out. And there's kind of some vying for which will be the world premiere and this and that. So we're figuring that out.
That's thrilling.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So it's kind of like figuring out punk rock tour for a movie, which is just going to be so fun. So I don't know. I'm really excited to see it and be able to see it in theaters again and see it with people. And because there's some, I know it works on your device, or we've tested it with people. Send it to them to watch on their screens or computers or their TVs or whatever. But seeing it in the theater is just it's like it's going to church, baby. Come on.
Yeah, that's one of my more romantic memories of you, if I will. So we met because you sent me an email blind when I worked at Chicago Filmmakers, this tiny little micro cinema that Beautiful. Now is in a better spot, but was just this above, like just kind of this hidden movie theater in Andersonville, Chicago. And I was allowed to program things. And Dakota hit us up out of nowhere saying, can I screen my web series as a feature? It was a I think it was 55 minutes or 65 minute Kiss Like Big Dogs. And I remember watching it and being I was just taken back. I was very, very taken back by it. And it was very quick before I realized I want to be in the Dakota business.
It was day 2, in fact, and we were out having a little smoke of cigarette or whatever, however you fill in the blank at home. And we were out having a cigarette before the movie started. And you were like, you want to work on this picture, Scrapers, with me.
That's true. That's
do you remember
true.
That, Jake?
I do. I actually remember it a little differently, but I do remember it. So
similar to that, though. Or you came and met me somewhere. I thought.
Oh no, it was that was actually after a one act. We caught you after this. That was very much a very hidden kind of a upstairs theater. It's the same idea, but Dakota did a 2-person one act where he drank a bottle of wine for the whole thing. And the program was this beautifully hand-drawn program with a lemur smoking a joint.
I remember that. That was by Tori Telfer, and that was called Lovers on Their Own. Wow, you're taking me back, buddy.
I brought my producer, and I was like, because after Kiss Like Big Dogs, I was like, I want this guy to be in Scrapers. And so, we're not going to audition you. So we went to go see a show just to see what's up. And like, it wasn't 10 minutes where she looked at me and was like, oh yeah. And so we did, I don't know if I ever told you this, we did make a plan to not talk to you or offer you anything whatsoever that night. It was not going to happen. And what ended up happening, actually, and I've talked about it in some of my YouTube videos, is that you were talking about John Cassavetes. You brought up Cassavetes.
Heck yeah.
And you were like, the reason why I love Cassavetes is because it's about everything in the world, but it's so teeny tiny. It's super small. Everything that's going on in the movie is very small, but everything is so meaningful that it can mean everything. And that is exactly the exact reason why I like Hal Ashby. And the reason why I was, we were talking to me and my producer were like, we're going to do a Hal Ashby Cassavetes movie. That's what Scrapers was going to be. And so since you said that, we basically looked at each other and I was like, you want to be Hal? And you started singing Call Me Al. And that was hilarious.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I do remember. I remember this very particular moment when we were doing Kiss Like Big Dogs. Like I said, this is very romantic. I'm not sure I even feel this way anymore, but like I said, we've known each other for years now. Where I asked you, like, what's better? You know that this video has gotten some thousands of views online. We just had 40 people in this show.
40 people.
And just like that.
40
just
people.
like that. And there's
because,
something to be said for that.
That movie will live on forever and as its own document, and what it's going to have its own life. You know, you give birth to it and you set it out into the world and hope the best for it, try to support it, but it's going to have its own life. But for those people who are there for that special event, you know, and to see it in the theater, you know, and to see there's something different about it. There's something different about it. It's a religious experience for me, you know, not to knock religion, whatever works for everyone. I'm into it, but that's mine. You know what I mean? And
oh, totally. Those were, I mean, it was the perfect length too. Having an hour-long live show because we would just party into the night.
Heck yeah,
we just sit there and put music on the projector and just party into the night.
What's the name of that one memoir about the Pacific Arena in World War II? I think it's called "We Were Soldiers Once and Young." What do we know? We didn't know it was bad for you.
I mean, those indie memories that I keep really close. And
it's my favorite stuff. I'm always chasing those. You know what I mean? And like,
I do. I wish we had the Kiss Like Big Dog.
Well, we have
right now.
We got the Scrapers. You have the Big Dogs trailer?
No, I wish. I do have. I got Scrapers and I got
Let's do the Scrapers trailer. Let's show them the first thing we worked on together.
Let's do it.
Did you ever think you could live this way? Did you ever think you could ever say, I'm living my dreams until the day I die. I'm living my dreams until the day I die. Well, it's easy to dream when you're always high. I get enough to never come down and to never look back, heading to my next town now. I'm high enough to never come down and to never look back, heading to my next town now. I'm living with the uptown boys on Versailles, smoking lots of spliffs cause I gotta stay high.
And it is.
How sweet is that? Sweet as sugar.
Oh man. You know, we made a choice to say if we were going to make this movie that we're going to treat it like it's the last movie we ever made. And every time I watch it, I'm like, fuck, I really like this movie. I know I wrote it and directed it, but like, fuck, you're great in it. Everybody's so good.
I had a blast. All I remember is the fun times we had, just hanging out with you guys, hanging out with the dogs, you know, taking them for walks and
movie party. That's what we did. It was shot and
making sandwiches, watching movies, and yeah, I sat on the couch with my shoes on all the time.
Oh yeah. Well, that's right, because the first thing we shot, I'll probably play this at some point during the film stuff so far. What was the you lip syncing ELO? And you ate so much in the same shot. You waited, you didn't eat anything because you knew you're going to eat so much in one shot. Ate so much in one go, and then slept until the next morning. It was absolutely hysterical.
That's movie making, kids. So that part too. Okay,
eating eggs off the ground,
and that's the most fun part. That's what they forget to tell you.
It was. I mean, it's
blasted. Summer camp, winter camp, or you know. But
I'm so glad. That's all I ever want when it comes to my sets and stuff. I always want people to be comfortable, but also like, go tell stories. I hope it's a great time. Yeah. I just want you to have a great time.
Dude, we had a ball. We figured it. We were scrapping, yelling, mixing it up.
Loving every minute with this damn crew.
That's right. You true blue, Ethel.
Okay, so it's about that time that we bring Jack back on.
Heck yeah.
let's bring Jack back on.
Let's summon him back from the ether. Come on.
Jack, hi, buddy.
Hello.
We still have more clips, but
we do. I don't usually make it this far into it. I usually have to wait until the tail end, until everyone is gone.
We did the solo bit. Let's go into Crazy Horse territory, shall we?
Oh no! Yeah. I still had some solo bit questions before Crazy Horse territory.
Oh, tell me what, Jack. What's on your mind?
So some of these questions have been answered already. You were saying that you did an immersive theater kind of experience or workshop.
Yeah.
And that was going to answer my question about having a theater background, because a lot of I've seen your work in Scrapers, I've seen Clean Sheets, and I'm really looking forward to Anchorage. That looks awesome.
Oh my God, you're gonna love it.
But you bring a very theatrical amount of energy with you to all the roles that I've seen you do, and that can be a hard thing to balance on camera. You're just very aware of that, so I was wondering if you could speak to the immersive theater experience.
Oh yeah, immersive theater has been my bread and butter out here in LA. I've worked. I was a company member mainly with this company, Ceaseless Fun. They actually just had a short film come out today about. We had a show that was gonna open up for a several month run, and then the pandemic shut it down on our opening night, which became our closing night. Luckily, there was a document. Yeah, clopening night. Luckily, there was a documentary.
Night.
However you want to play it. Luckily, there was a doc crew there, and they caught it. This director, Nick Murphy, he directed it, and so you can go to cloakoffiction.com/everyoneagrees. I'll shoot you guys the link, and we can put it up later. But
I have it here. I can send it to Jack.
Okay, cool.
But we have the trailer, right? Don't we have the trailer? Is that what Next Time is? Or is that something else?
Next Time is actually a short film I was out in here. And that also came from doing immersive theater out here. I met a director named Talia Shea Levin, and she asked me to audition for her short film Next Time. She's also involved in, filmmaking, in dance film and immersive and like the world between. So that was a great experience. That also came out of immersive. And I always told myself, like, movies is where I want to live, and theater is like keeping the knife sharp. You know what I mean? Just making sure you're sharp and being challenged by new directors, new ideas, scripts. I don't know what they mean the first time I read them. And I love that kind of work. So that's been how I try to keep the balance. And it's nice to be able to bounce between one and the other, and then just kind of feel like, all right, I'm trying my best to be busy all the time,
Right.
So.
Well, kind of like with Anchorage, that's like a Chekhov play in a way. It's like that one about how
you saw the gun, did you?
Those three sisters, they're trying to get to Moscow to sell a bunch of opioids and a bunch of stuffed animals. And do they get to Moscow?
It's my favorite Chekhov play. How'd you know?
Yeah.
Fear and Loathing in
there was some telepathy.
Oh, that's right. There you go.
So would this be a good time to show the Next Time trailer?
Oh yeah, let's do that actually. So yeah, this is directed by Talia Shea Levin.
Is this correct?
Oh, that is great. So cloakoffiction.com/everyoneagrees. That's where you can see the short film Everyone Agrees It's About to Explode, about the show with Ceaseless Fun that got closed down by the pandemic, and what happens next. How are they going to finish this thing? Are they
maybe we can have that for like Film Stuff So Far Volume 3.
Oh, I'll put you in contact with these kids. You got to talk to Nick Murphy, who directed the film, and Derek Spencer, who directed the entire show, produced by Meredith Trinan. Beautiful people, all wonderful people, and people I've worked with for years out here. But so yeah, could we show the trailer for Next Time? Is that cool?
Yeah, let's do it.
Go.
Hell yeah.
We're not stopping. Even though we don't have time.
No one ever travels to look at flat landscapes. I thought there'd be more.
Oodalolly.
What happens next or before?
What happens next time? Oh, you have to watch to find out.
But what happens before that?
Well, if you go back to before, you're already late to now, or was it later? Which way did he go? Which way did he go?
But we were already then.
We were already then. Yeah. Go back to when. When will then be now?
Soon.
Was it actually shot on
that's
film?
two Spaceballs.
2 Spaceballs.
You're 2 for 2, man.
Thank you. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jack.
Sorry.
Keeping track over here.
Killing it.
You got it. Was that actually shot on film?
That was shot on film. And so, you know, the director, Talia, and then the other actor I was in there with, wonderful actor, Amanda Lee Jerry, and me, like, met and actually rehearsed the film and, like, did exercises, which is so rare, you know, but, like, it was because especially we're going to shoot on film and we're going to have a low take count and just run and gun. And, yeah, it was awesome. It was really exciting to shoot that way.
It looks gorgeous.
Super 16, baby.
Nice.
So what's happening with that short right now?
So that premiered at, hold on, let me take a look at the poster. It was at Nashville Film Fest. It was at, I think, what else? And right now, and then it premiered digitally on filmshortage.com, which is like a film collection. And it's got a couple more festival stops in the run coming up. I don't think they've announced it yet, but
congratulations.
It'll be out there somewhere. Yeah, this mug's getting all over the place.
Everywhere.
Did you guys shoot that in LA? Or
that was shot in Fallon, Nevada, which is about 7 hours away from LA, and it made it in the local paper. They're like, someone's setting up a time travel factory in town. Like strange billboards up here, because they bought those billboards, rented them out for the shoot. So we drove 7.5 hours into the middle of the desert, and there's a billboard. I'm reading in the script as we're pulling out, but it's like, holy shit, they did the billboard.
That's where the budget went.
Well, and because it's like, you know, we're not going to do CGI. We want to shoot it and get what came out of the can. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That's
so they
exciting.
had to get the billboard in there. So good on them. Yeah, good on you, Talia.
Do you know what happens?
Jeffrey Reeser. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, do you know what happens to that movie after it does festivals, after that's done? Like, do you know where it goes or what they?
Oh yeah, it'll definitely end up on Talia's Vimeo, but I think, you know, they're trying to find like a home for it to land, and I'm seeing more and more avenues for short films to land.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with it. Fingers crossed, knock on wood.
Yeah,
but it's been doing great so far. So
that's what we like to hear.
Heck yeah.
Jack, do you have anything else burning your brain at the moment?
Yeah, and you started to address it. Eating eggs off the floor and the hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
That was an interesting choice.
That's a choice. I make strong choices sometimes. Yeah.
One of the cool things about the character in Scrapers is that it's like, you know that guy who's just stoned all the time, but it's like,
we know that guy. Yeah.
What weird business goes on in that person's world? Because there's people who enjoy marijuana and whatnot, but then it's like, how do some people function?
Right, totally. And we know that guy. Maybe we've been that guy sometimes, or we fear we could be that guy, or, you know, like, let's not be that guy. Or I was young, I was that guy.
I don't want to.
These hot dogs are still good.
Hey, come on, blow it off a little bit, you know.
I rolled all over the floor.
Yeah, heck yeah. You only have to eat it once, and then you got it forever.
Well, I have.
Because celluloid heroes are something to be.
There you go. There you go.
Has Amazon acquired many short films lately? I thought they stopped acquiring short.
Or not Amazon, but I've just been seeing avenues, like different, like what websites specifically for short films that are starting up, and like streaming services for short films that are starting up, and, you know, just like them being packaged up. And there's tons of festivals online and in person now for them. So. Yeah, I don't know. So it's been making a heck of a run. I think it's done 3 so far, and we'll see. It's going to do a couple more. So,
I can't wait. I don't want to throw anyone in front of the bus, and you don't have to answer this, but I heard that you didn't know how to make the eggs.
I don't know how to make them. What do you mean?
Like when we shot you cooking scrambled eggs.
Oh, dude.
We were like, you know what to do, right? And you were like, yeah, sure. And then you just kind of like.
Well, that's acting, you know. You figure it out. You figure it out on the fly. That's learning by fire. But no, yeah, no.
How does this man acquire sustenance?
I could burn down the kitchen trying to make a bowl of cereal. I swear to God. So, you know,
I'm gonna do a
raw foods, but not for my health, because it's like I don't want to hurt anybody.
Charlie Brown Thanksgiving.
Yeah, totally.
I got
jelly
a
beans
rock.
and toast. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on to clean sheets, shall we? We have a couple other things, but let's talk about clean sheets a little bit because.
What do you want to know, my friend? This was I mean, every time we talk about working together, I'm like, this was one of my favorites. I had so much fun. We had.
That's really sweet. I feel very awkward asking you why, but since I'm the host of the show, I'm going to ask you why.
Because that one, as I remember it, it's like I'd gone to LA for a little bit and come back in town. I'd started working on Love Shot and come back in town. And then after that, that was going to be my last time in Chicago, and I was moving to LA, you know? So, right? So
like something like that, yeah.
I mean, I know we shot it over time, so it might have finished up while I was kind of back and forth. But to me, it always represented like the last movie in Chicago, and the last time it was like we're getting the band together one more time, you know?
Yeah, totally.
One more show, and it was just like a cool last hurrah, and great people, and it's so funny, so fun hanging out with. Yeah,
it was real tiny. It was there was only like 4 or 5 people working on the whole thing at any given point. So.
And I love that. I'll hold the light if I'm not on screen. I don't give a shit. Come on, let's do it.
You were behind the camera because when we did my scene, because I wasn't supposed to be in the movie, you ended up just being in the back. Like,
get that Hitchcock in there. Got to get a Hitchcock in there. Yeah,
I was explaining this to Jack earlier. I don't know if I've said this online, but I was like, the only time Terrence Malick ever showed up in a movie was because his actor didn't show up. The only time Martin Scorsese showed up
does great
because his actor didn't show up.
Yeah, does great. Go with it.
Got to do what you got to do.
Absolutely, I loved it. Greasy Dubois.
Greasy Dubois.
Yeah, I talk in Greasy Dubois voice to myself sometimes when I'm just doing short.
That's too funny. You're too funny.
It's like deep fried in New Orleans.
That's I stole it from a King of the Hill character. So.
Oh, beautiful. Well, I stole the character of Buzz from the dog. Why am I blanking? Buzz.
His name was Buzz.
Duh. So I was literally like, why don't I just play Buzz? Like, no need for an epiphany in the script. It says Buzz.
Well, that was the big conversation.
Buzz. Yeah.
The big conversation was I had written this as a remake of Mikey and Nikki. And so your names were Mikey and Nikki, except Sally's name was Nikki. Right. And then we rewrote the whole script so that there's like Greasy Dubois and Kalu Calais and all these like weird named characters. And I remember you coming up to me and being like, script's great. I want a cool name. I would like a cool name, please. And I do believe we were dog sitting BB and Buzz that weekend. And we were just kind of figuring out like, oh, because you guys were like, we're going to be dogs in this movie. We got to be like, I think the character, they're like a couple of dogs.
That's why.
And then it just like, it's totally just.
You notice this Buzz character sits on chairs pretty weird. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He kind of eats off the floor.
Like constant crotch shot on the chair.
Well, do I have a clip for you guys? Well, let's run the trailer and then maybe we can talk a little bit and then we'll run the clip.
Love to.
Clean sheets.
Cubs, they're on fire this year.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
What's on the docket?
Well, I hate to ask you this on your birthday.
What?
I could pay you both good money if you do one itsy bitsy favor for me.
What's the job?
Oh, it'll be fun.
Oh, it's fun, babes. It's gonna be fun.
See, this clutch was stolen from me, and it can only have been one of 2 people. They both deny ever having seen it. The last time I saw the clutch, I was having a business dealing with these 2 individuals.
What's the clutch look like?
Fabulous and one of a kind. You'll recognize it in context.
Who are the players?
So all parts are available on YouTube right now. So give us some love, and then hopefully we can do some souped up Criterion version of it someday.
You'll love to hear it, folks. You'll love to hear it. That was so fun. That was like, and there's like Chicago royalty in there. You got Mars Timms in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
Shirley Blazin appearing as Clowniachi.
Yeah, we showed that trailer on Amber's show. Thank you, Amber.
Oh, hell yeah.
People who watch this show have definitely seen the trailer before.
Heck yeah.
Go to amberlive.tv to check out what's happening on Amber Live Sunday
Check out the
nights
plug.
at 8 o'clock on YouTube.
I want to hang out with Jack a little bit more during the week.
Sunday night. Sunday.
Is it really necessary to say it 3 times? I think they get the point.
Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday. Sunday.
There's an episode of Cheers where like the opening bit is someone says to Coach, like, I just heard this great quote. He says, "In all things, simplify, simplify." And Coach goes, "Why does he say simplify twice?"
I was doing Smithers, old Smithers at the racetrack.
Another beautiful one. Another classic.
It's always so much fun having you. You bring so much, of course, bring so much energy to every set that you come to. I remember hearing a story. If you watch Kiss Like Big Dogs, your original miniseries, it's separated as you're the main character, Kelly, who then goes on dates with a few different women.
Yeah, it's kind of like every different stage of like coming to age, like classic rom-com, and then it goes a little Dutch on you,
It's a beautiful thing. I can watch it all the time. It's been a couple of years since I've seen it, but I do remember talking about the woman who played your last date, and this is going to what Jack was saying before. She was so big that
awesome. Yeah,
and she ends up being one of the most memorable out of everyone aside from you.
She was
and
awesome.
I remember it was just kind of like giving you a taste of your own medicine.
Yeah, God, I'm gonna blank on her name too. Hold on. No, it's just this one has been several years.
It's been a long time, but I do remember that very specific conversation where
I'll look it up in the break. But she was awesome. She was just like, she came out and did something, and it wasn't what I expected, and I didn't know how I was going to translate. And I was like, let's go with this. This is awesome. The first time I was like, I was smart enough to trust that and just get out of someone's way and let them rock and roll. And she killed it. She was awesome. Yeah.
It played real well.
Yeah. Her name is Kelsey. I just am blanking on her last name.
Well, if anyone, where is it possible to find?
Kelsey Kowalski.
Kelsey Kowalski. That's a great name.
That is.
Comet Kowalski from Roxanne.
Otherwise, that's someone I went to grade school with, and I apologize if I mixed that up, but we're going to get it corrected.
We'll get there.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, no, I just love that's like what we're here to do. Like as long as everyone's on the same page, we all feel safe. We're in it for the right reasons. We're gonna have a good time. Let's like swing for the fences,
Definitely.
And let's give you some options because you can figure it out in editing. If we're all on the same path, we know what we need, what we want, what's right for the story. You can find a lot of colors in there. So
that's the advantage of cinema,
especially digital filmmaking, where we're at now.
Yeah,
I have hours of footage of you. Like hours of
shooting
footage.
billboards with film.
There you
Nevada.
go. Yeah. Then you got 2 takes, and you better not screw up the line. You know what I mean? So that was fun too. I'll take it any which way but Sunday. You know what I mean? I'll take it Sunday too.
Take it Sunday too.
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yes, you do have to say it 3 times.
Oh, okay. Shall we play that clip? We started to see a little bit of that clip from Clean Sheets.
Yes. Is this the scene between Jeremiah and Buzz?
It is, but it doesn't go all the way through because the scene happens a little later in the film. I didn't want to give too much away. This is you getting to know Jeremiah and Jeremiah getting
to know Buzz.
Yeah, and this is actually features one of my very favorite things that I'll talk about after that Dakota does as an actor that ends up happening in everything we do. So whenever you're ready.
Yes, they're on fire this year.
Sure, yeah. I believe it.
More of a Sox fan then?
Oh, Jeremiah, I've just been kind of farting around, sitting on my thumb, not doing much, watching the sunset.
All right. That was good. You're a funny guy. You're a funny guy. I got some jokes too.
I would love to hear jokes. I'd love nothing more than that, yeah.
They say engineers, we're not that funny, but, I've got a knack for...
Goofing off or...
making people chuckle as well, yeah, sure. You want a drink?
Yeah, that'd be great, I think. Never ever ask. Please. I get
What do you call a philosophical parking garage sign painter?
What?
An exit stencilist. You get it? How'd the farmer find his wife?
How?
Tracked her down.
I'm gonna save that one.
When does a joke become a dad joke?
When?
When it becomes apparent. Fuck. Or the punchline becomes apparent.
That's good.
It happens in both of my films. You can set a camera on Dakota and just ask him to laugh. Just go for it. Just laugh at stuff. And it's one of my favorite things to watch. At the end of Scrapers, there's a performance, and everyone in the audience is supposed to be miserable. And actually, Dakota surprised me by insisting that he laugh at everything. It's one of my favorite scenes, especially the part where he's like, "That's not funny."
Oh,
But
that's pretty good. That's one of the things I like finding after a while with the character too. Like, what's this one laugh? Like, some laugh sooner than others, but you know. And also, if you can totally ask me to laugh in a scene, you can ask me just as easy to eat an ice cream sundae or go for a nice walk. Because that's just like some of the easiest. Eggs off the floor. Some of the easiest stuff there is. You know, it's so much fun to do, and you can get an instant like, you know, real reaction from everyone around you without looking at them, just being in your own little moment. You know, it's working, so that's always fun. Then you can just kind of gas everyone else up. You know, try to get them to break and ruin the shot.
It's that thing that I believe Harmony Korine put it this particular way, which is like he likes to take everybody and throw them in a bottle and just shake it up and go and just see what happens. And it's a great way to keep things spontaneous. And you know, we did things a little bit more scripted in Clean Sheets than in Scrapers, but that ended up just playing easier in the editing side of things. Honestly.
Well, yeah, and then you know there'd be moments. Well, it was kind of like we worked it out ahead of time, anything we wanted to incorporate, and then there'd be little moments of tweaking. But yeah, for the most part, the whole thing was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we just did some like different readings, or you know, different like affects, or different prop work, or like.
Oh, he's bringing out the props, guys. He's doing the prop work.
Here it comes.
Yeah. He said he would. He said he would.
It's been a hard day. I think that was Madsen. I think that was Michael Madsen. I don't know who that was.
Absolutely.
Without the cigarette, it's kind of James. You know, around the corner, it's James Dean a little bit. You know?
Now it's Bela Lugosi.
Well, yeah. Now I'm talking. Let's be honest. Yeah.
It's not even Bela Lugosi. It's the guy from Plan 9 from Outer Space who was supposed to be
Ed Wood. Oh no! I thought you meant Ed Wood. I was like, I'll take.
No, not that.
Hell yeah. Heck yeah.
We went by a few Ed Wood rules. Like the best part of that movie is when Thor, what's his face, bumps into the door frame, and they're like, cut, print, next. What, he bumped into the door frame. He was only supposed to go through the door. That's the only thing.
Doesn't matter.
Gives a character. I believe that's what he says. Character. Next.
Realism. Yeah.
Like we got lunch, so come on. Yeah. There's shadows in life, babe. You know.
I like how Buzz in that scene is he's just so charming, even though he's kind of a sleaze, and you have a really good job of doing that. Like you just really root for him, and it's like.
Thank you. I think, you know, he's like, that's why Buzz the dog in real life really helped me, because it's like, you know,
he just wants to laugh at everything.
If you're nice to him and you think if you scratch him behind the ear, he's just like coming over. He's kind of too big to sit in your lap, but he might, you know?
Yeah.
And then if you try to hit him with the stick, he's gonna bite back, you know.
Sure.
So it was a nice
in that scene. It's like, hey, you want to hear some of the worst jokes I have to offer? And Buzz is like, sure.
Jokes.
What the fuck? I don't fucking love jokes.
No, you know what he actually asked? He said, "You want to go for a walk?" And I was like, "Yeah." It's the equivalent of taking my Buzz for a walk. Is like give him a drink and tell him some jokes. That's like, we're going for a walk. We're going to the park, buddy.
I'm so glad that
I don't care if you're the worst dog walker who's got his shoes on the wrong foot.
Yeah, totally. Oh, it's okay. Keep stepping on my paws. That's fine. That was so fun. And great company. Anytime you got great company in a scene, it's easy to do.
Yeah, totally.
I did great work.
It was great. There was supposed to be a few things that were supposed to be intercut in that scene, and you guys did it so well that I didn't even need to. It plays out.
I love
just
when
the way it needs to. Anyway,
live in the master. That's how they used to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that.
You got any other questions, Jack? I don't want to put you on the spot. Anything burning your brain?
Any writing projects coming up?
What am I writing now? Yeah, I got a couple I'm cooking on. I've been trying to crack this like personal family story about my grandfather and the family who owned like 13 carpet stores in Chicago in the 70s.
Is this the sequel to Hook?
Yes, and Boogie Nights.
I'm ready now,
and
Dakota.
then, yeah.
I'm ready now. We have to shoot now.
It makes its way towards Goodfellas, so it gets a little crazy at the end. We get to
be
the
fair,
let's just
Boogie
say
Nights and Goodfellas go down a similar road.
It just goes from like to like.
I don't know.
So,
Boogie Nights and Hook go down a similar road too.
That's what I'm working
I'm
on.
sorry, you were
no,
saying.
that's what I'm working on, and otherwise, me and my buddy Scott, we have like a little, a couple ideas in the pipeline. And when it comes time to talk to people, what's the thing you're going to do next? You know what I mean? So got some ideas there. And then what else? I did that monthly writing thing in April with our good friend Jim Franks. I do that yearly with him. Yeah, you write a poem a month or a poem a day for the month of April. So we did that. That was a lot of fun.
Do you have another book coming out? Dakota is a beautiful poet and has written not only poetry books, but has written a very limited press. Was it
movie reviews?
Was that that was? Oh, your beautiful book that was like an autobiography.
That was called You Are an Idiot. It was an autobiography. But it was all written in the second person, so when you read it, it's about you.
That's brilliant.
Like you wake up hungover, you don't know where you're at. You're at this looks like a punk rock house. You must have ended up here after the bar. So that was a fun one. And then otherwise just got some scripts in the works. Nothing too far along, but like some things in the kettle there, just like little ideas. But I'm waiting for like all these different weird ones to kind of like a couple of them to sync up or something. So we'll see what happens.
100%. Yeah, I've been wanting to see the carpet store one for a minute. I've been hearing about this one for a minute.
I've been talking about it forever. I know. I got
magnum opus.
I got a few episodes written. I just don't know if it's a feature or if it's a series or what. And I just want to keep writing, and then I'll figure out all that shit later.
Yeah, totally.
So
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Well, we are definitely in talks to do a new movie.
I would love to, my friend.
Hopefully sometime this year. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can see a video where I talk about the script, very vaguely talk about the script and talk about the influences. And that's actually one of the fun reasons. It was fun watching Love Shot today, because I was like, when I wrote this script, all I wanted was 70s thriller and Korean mind fuckery kind of a thing.
Dude, I've definitely been dipping back into that second gold age of, filmmaking, where it's like, because they still have that appreciation for the first golden age of filmmaking, the stuff in the 30s and 40s. They still know how to make them like that. So the pacing and the timing is a little different, and the appreciation is a little different. But then it's got that vibe of something that could do a little something new,
Sure.
Yeah, and there was still a lot to explore in that world.
Yeah, it was great.
And filmmaking.
Yeah, and if I do like, I love movies from the 90s, just like any other kid. So like, if you love those movies, you don't make those movies. You make the movies that were based off the movies that were based off, go follow film history.
Yeah.
And you can see these lines through filmmakers, and it really, starts to add up. And
so one of my favorite things to do is to watch these independent films and see if I can guess the influences. And then I'll see if I'm actually anywhere close. And it ends up being a very fun, because sometimes it's exactly where you want it on the list. And sometimes you're like, I want to do these three things. I had a friend that made an album that was like, I want to do these three bands, and it ended up sounding like an Incubus album. And they were like not happy with the end product with it. Because they're like, I wanted to do Led Zeppelin meets this, and it just ended up being just like Deftone. Like,
no, you can't force it. You can't force it. Those things gotta like click together. And it's good when you have some people to work with too, because then you get a conversation going, and it's like you make your Venn diagram. Like, okay, what's that center slice? Let's go for that. We can
without a doubt
aim towards that.
Jake, you have the color wheel about that.
I got the color wheel. Talk about that's another video. Is the basically doing a Venn diagram, but it's a three-way Venn diagram.
Hell yeah!
Of John Venn in a three-way.
Yeah, it's it's top tier directors and the people that they influenced, So I have a color wheel for like just kind of basic how I feel about everything to lean back on. People like Ashby, Kubrick, Cassavetes, like we talked about before, plus like the Coen brothers and the Andersons and
Heck yeah.
etc. Scorsese, I believe, was the other one. And then I like to make them for like the upcoming film as well. So those three are these three specific movies: Wake and Fright, Killing Them Softly, and it's actually the Vengeance trilogy. So pick your Vengeance trilogy movie. Old
Very
Boy or
nice. Very nice.
And then then the secondaries are like it's all very much fairy tales, Grimm's fairy tales. It came from, and I don't want to sound too grandiose or anything like that, but here's, if you're talking about history of film and stuff, what they talk about is how some people argue that the invention of sound really fucked everything up when it comes to the history of film. It is what it is, right? But what started as the silent films that were getting as epic as possible, shooting them as huge as you possibly can, was then traded in with these films that are all set at a table because you can fit the microphone behind a plant. You know,
absolutely.
And the cameras were too loud, so they couldn't shoot these epic films with sound. They didn't know how to mix. They didn't know anything about it. So these epic movies then just in terms of popularity had to start going to these tiny little movies. One of the things I was trying to do with this film was I'm not partial to films that take place in one room. I don't particularly care for them.
Right.
I think that it's too easy, no matter what your budget is, to make a boring ass movie that's set in one room. So I did my very, very best to write a movie that was set in one room that didn't bore me.
It's a good challenge.
It's a great challenge. Yeah.
Place to start, right? So
yeah, it can be done. I mean, I could think of Waiting for Godot, which was like a huge influence for us for Anchorage.
Sure.
Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
That was a beautiful one too. They never leave the house. You know what I mean? So
definitely.
How about Bert and Ernie? That was another Anchorage influence, and they never leave the house either.
That's great.
It's true. It's true. You got to mix them together, though.
Totally.
That's the Venn diagram. And then we're in between Vladimir and Estragon of Waiting for Godot and Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street. Where are our characters?
It's so funny listening to you say all this stuff after watching the film because it's all very, very apparent. It's all there.
Well,
It's
that's why I love talking shop afterwards and hearing, I don't really, more than movies or anything, I watch the making ofs, I watch the interviews, I watch the behind the scenes, I watch, all these old shows, that Dick Cavett show, whatever.
Right.
And just to watch these interviews. So like to find out what that phantom thread is or what that inside joke is. And then you just see the movie in a whole new light when you know that,
Absolutely.
So that's always exciting.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to bring back Cavett. This is Cavett. This is the Dick Cavett show.
It also feels like This Is Your Life a little bit for me, at least. And,
Oh my
and
God.
that opening theme,
Sid Caesar.
the opening theme, I really thought it was going to be Lawrence Welk who came out like, thank you.
That's a great one.
I just need all the bubbles back here.
There we go.
I'm waiting for I stole that song from a rather popular film, so I'm waiting for them to catch on that I stole it from
Fake It Till You Make It.
Film. Yeah, we'll
Fake It Till
see.
You Make It.
I'll just say it's the Howard Beale theme.
Hey.
Straight
Gotcha.
up.
Now
Recorded it on my Zoom during the end credits. They play the whole
All right. Well, that answers that question.
Yeah.
Talk about a beautiful movie. God.
Yes.
I know, right? I mean,
Yeah. What? Good choice.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
steal
a
from the
favorite.
best. You know what I mean?
Anything Lumet, I just don't get me started, man. I mean, seeing you, I'm not going to say
Lumet.
that you are this generation's John Cazale.
If
But
you
I
do-
will say,
if you do, I'm gonna have to send you $100 or something. I don't have it. But give me a couple months to come up with it, man. This is another plot for a movie. Just give me a couple months to come up with them. I swear to God, I'll have it, man. But yeah,
It's $100. Just forget it.
But for
well, it
him-
is one of those
for
things,
him,
though,
it's
like,
$1 million.
I could say, like, I want to write a movie for John Cazale and then cast you and tell you that and we'd figure that out.
It's starting to happen. I can
Get the
shave it
curtain.
back a little bit too. I'll shave it back a little bit too. We can do a
Poor
Cazale, you know?
Sal. Oh, no.
Sal, it's great. Sal's one of my favorites, but also fucking Fredo. Come on.
Yeah. He's just
the best character.
Just tragic across the
Got
board.
pissed over Mike. Yeah. So
Wasn't
good.
the only one that worked out for him was Deer Hunter? Out of everybody in that fucking movie? I don't even remember Deer Hunter, so.
But he's great in it.
He comes
Remember the
out.
end.
I think he was in 6 motion pictures before he passed, and they were all Oscar nommed.
Oh, yeah. He was definitely in it. I just don't know if he made it
Godfather,
out.
Godfather 2, Deer Hunter, The Conversation, Dog Day Afternoon. And
right, that's it.
What the fucking is the other one? There's one I'm forgetting.
Did you just say Deer Hunter?
Deer Hunter, Conversation. There's one other one in there, but yeah.
Well, The Conversation is incredible.
Yeah.
All these movies, such good films, Dakota Loesch. I mean, that is one of my favorite things about making a movie. I remember hearing a lot of actors say, don't watch dailies, just don't, telling themselves, and watching dailies with Dakota is so fun.
It's the best version of the movie. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a finished product. I love having it. I love watching it. I love watching it in theaters, but there's something so magical about seeing it, like, plugging it in or seeing it developed. Watching it with everyone for the first time, every option of what it could be. It's like string theory for your movie, It's like you see every possible tendril it could go down. And
that's true. There were a lot of things where you just pick one little thing from one take the first day, and you're like, I guess that
is the beauty of Russian montage, which we've had since the late 20s, where you just put these different images together and it means something to us, Come on.
Definitely.
And that's what they mean by sound changed everything. So if you can do it with sound, of course you do it with sound. If you can do it without sound and just do it with the visual images at points or as much as you can, still do that too. It's like you don't got to throw one tool out or choose between. So
I don't know if this is true. This might be an urban legend. I did hear that Spielberg at one point used to, before he would release his films, would watch the whole thing on mute to make sure that it told the story.
Beautiful. That's a kid who came up on Hitchcock. You know what I mean? And that's if you know how to do that, then the whole thing could work without it. It should be able to work without it. And then the sound is an added color. But sound also is, in some movies, is everything,
Lately, the dialogue in his movies has been really top notch. So
it's ideal. You don't want any shots to be accidental.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, that kind of worked.
Absolutely. Or if you feel like you're watching a cool shot, now I'm taken out of the movie. It should hit. I shouldn't even realize it till later. I should be like, holy shit, that shot was fucking nuts.
I'll tell you, the one time I saw Cool Hand Luke on 35 at the Music Box.
That's a good one.
And it was the only time I've seen a movie where I was like, every single shot is a masterpiece. Every single shot, except for the last fucking 10 seconds of that movie that needs to be cut off. The montage at the end, forget about it.
Well, I guess that's the story of Cool Hand Luke.
That
Good
wasn't
night,
supposed
folks.
to be there.
Sure have a cool hand.
Oh my God. I sit there, the traffic light turns and I'm sobbing. And then they're like, well, that'll be that for old Luke.
And here's the hand from Cool Hand Luke.
There's no hand in Cool Hand Luke.
And there's the cane from Citizen Kane.
Imagine if Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, it goes to that shot where freeze frames on him, and then it's the end of Animal House, where it's like Butch moved to Florida.
that perfectly encapsulates the ending of Cool Hand Luke.
It's a sandbagging situation.
Yeah.
This is a perfect film.
Also,
you guys fucked it up right at the end.
You can tell there's that William Goldman tattoo for you.
Oh, look at you.
Knows anything. I promised myself if I got my first feature film made and produced and we saw it all the way through, I could get a William Goldman tattoo.
You did it. Well, quote us with some S. Morgenstern, shall you?
Hell yeah, absolutely. Oh God, we could do that all day.
You got some Falk for us?
As you wish.
Jesus, Grandpa.
Good. I'm on the Brute Squad. You are the Brute Squad. Yeah. We do this all day too. Yeah, I don't know.
Follow the thread. Just follow the thread
so much. I get asked at the grocery store all the time, like, what does this mean? Because it's just out of place. It's a weird quote. Nobody knows anything. They think it's religious or something. Right. I guess it kind of is for me. It just means as Bill Goldman described it, no one knows what's going to work out or what's not going to work out. What's going to be the best movie, the worst movie, what people are going to take to, what's going to meet culture in an interesting way. Nobody knows. And if it's my favorite movie, what does it matter? They don't know anything, So it's just a nice reminder, keep at it, keep making films and in the meantime, make more films.
I do remember you telling me you wanted to get a heart here that said mom and a heart here that said Elaine May.
I got a heart here that says soft for my mom.
What is it?
It says soft. I got that heart here for my mom. Hi, Ma. And then I got Zevon over here.
Oh, perfect.
Rock and roll Elaine May in some ways, But yeah, I'm going to get a jacket with Elaine May on the back of it. That's the plan here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kill the game.
That's pretty epic.
Just wearing my movie references on my heart on my sleeve. There you go.
That would be someday doing a Mikey and Nikki Clean Sheets double feature would just be anything.
Kill me. Why don't you? Also, I gotta say, Ishtar to Mikey and Nikki. Pretty good. I know it's going back in time, but pretty good. And if you're and R.I.P. Grodin, so you got to do Heartbreak Kid too.
Oh, you know what? We didn't bring up Heartbreak Kid. You know what I bought? Speaking of Grodin, 1977 King Kong, Jack.
I haven't seen 1977 King
I never
Kong.
made it till they made it. I gave up before they went to New York when I did watch it, but it's Jeff Bridges, Jessica Lange, and Charles Grodin in King Kong. And then what? Doesn't he climb the World Trade Center?
He does so much in that movie. You got it.
Right.
He does more than he ever did on any Johnny Carson show. I can guarantee you that. Okay?
Can I tell you
some weird, wild stuff? I did not know that.
We have been going, but me and Bones have been going back and watching Grodin on old Letterman and Carson shows.
They just
it is the funniest.
They loved
it.
him.
It is so funny.
You don't
cannot.
Stephen Fine sent me the clip the day he passed. He's like, "You don't care about your guests at all, do you?"
Yeah. Did you see the one where he brings his lawyer on?
God, he's so good.
Oh my God, Jack! Look up Charles Grodin brings up his someday watch this. You don't have to watch it.
No,
right
I
this
just need to
second,
type it in now so I don't forget it.
You'll love it.
My favorite Grodin. You ever heard of this one? Clifford.
Oh sure. You know
Classic
what?
Early Comedy Central movie where they would play it all the time.
They shot that in 1990 and it didn't come out until 94. So all of Beethoven happened post Clifford.
Are you serious?
Dead.
Well, Clifford.
I had no idea that this was that Clifford was a thing.
Oh my God! You didn't know Clifford was a thing?
But it's not the dog movie. This is a different Clifford, though.
Yeah.
Wait,
it's Martin Short playing a 10-year-old.
But they couldn't do it.
Essentially,
Charles Grodin has a connection there. Or?
He's in it too. Okay, so have you seen Midnight Run? Do you know Midnight Run?
I love that movie.
Okay,
that's the movie I meant to bring up.
Essentially, it's
so many
good
Charles Grodin.
Essentially, Clifford is Midnight Run. Okay, but in this situation, he's the Robert De Niro character, and Martin Short is the Charles Grodin character. Okay, and they are just stuck together, and they fucking hate it. You know, except Clifford doesn't mind. It's okay.
He doesn't mind.
Beautiful.
Clifford has his own. He really has his own motivations.
Yeah,
like,
I told
he needs
Steven,
to get to Wally World.
I told Steven once once Grodin passed R.I.P. I was like, okay, we're doing Clifford Inner Space double feature.
Yeah. Well, it was
Yeah.
Raul last week, who's the one who actually brought up Great Muppet Caper, which I was like, I couldn't believe that's just my favorite one.
Yeah.
Muppet movie is like, it's one of my favorite moments in cinema history when it's like Rebecca, prepare the standard rich and famous contract for Mr. Kermit T. Frog and his friends. You know, think about it all the time.
Everyone
Muppet
wants
movie is
that.
one that I really grew to appreciate more and more, but Great Muppet Caper was definitely the favorite Muppet film that I watch over and over again. And
That's
just
like a
would
family
destroy the VHS tape.
Yeah.
And then to bring it back to Manhattan, you know, Muppets Take Manhattan, there's Grodin again, right? Or was he in Caper?
He was
Caper.
That's right.
He was the
Him and
antagonist.
Julie Andrews. He was the bad guy.
Right.
And me. You know from the opening song that he's the bad guy. It's so good.
Just projecting
Everybody and me. That was definitely the one that we watched. But as I got older, in my love of 70s,
hands now.
I started loving 70s films more. That first Muppet movie hits really hard because the whole thing is practical. It's impossible to do. No one would ever dream of doing. I mean, I don't know how they do the Muppets now, but I'm sure there's a lot more green screen.
And again, a lot of it. This was another one of our references because it's a two-hander in a car for most of it. It's Fozzie and Kermit.
Yes, moving right along on our bicycles.
Yeah, bear left, frog right. You know what I mean?
There's some. Oh man, I can't wait for people to be able to see Anchorage. I'm really excited for that.
Me too.
There are some wonderful moments and some. I don't know. I don't think we actually said this. Dakota wrote the script to Anchorage. I think it's such an immersive experience. It feels very improvised.
And that comes from me and Scott, you know, working together for like 3 years, 5 shows and immersive. So we went out with a great blueprint and then we just left room to mix it up and surprise each other. Our producer, Meredith Trinan, who we worked with on a bunch of those immersive shows, she also came out and was associate director on the show, like giving us ideas. She helped me in like a scene towards the end that gets a little dramatic where we go head to head. She really helped me in that one and just had a great crew. Everyone was throwing out ideas. You know what it's like when you got a good team going. So
yeah. And I highly suggest everyone watch Love Shot. Definitely watch my movies. Watch our movies rather. Clean Sheets and Scrapers. But you'll see these these things where it's like, man, I really wish Dakota would do this kind of a character. And then you watch Anchorage and it's like, holy shit, he did it. He did it. He did it for himself. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But there's also these, in all of your movies, in everything we've done and everything I've seen you in, there are such specific Dakota-isms. I was just saying this to you before, like I watched Love Shot today. There are lines that are so clearly you, like so clearly you came up with it. And I have to ask because I know the difference between the script and what you're throwing in.
I sneak some in here and there. It's really hard to tell when it's all said and done, like who cut the carrots for the soup, because, a lot of the times like we do, it's like we'll riff, you'll write something, we'll riff, and then you'll rewrite something, and then we'll add a little more, or it's like, I forget who said what line, or if it was the person across from me said, why don't you say like this time? Or if I was like, I'm gonna this time, and you just go off, or so.
Yeah, there are definitely some things script wise. I won't say too much, but there are some eulogies that I think are just the most beautiful, wonderful kind of.
It kind of got a little bit of a, I don't know, it's built on an older kind of storytelling. Let's just say that, what I mean? Like it tells a parable maybe, or kind of an ancient story, but it starts off,
like a Greek tragedy.
But it starts off with like, we're in a 90s,
father eating his children.
Yeah, but it starts off we're in a little 90s Cadillac that maybe they stole, and we're getting high in the morning, and here, put some whiskey in your beer and keep driving. So
and we've talked about this privately, but like I can't. The sets are wonderful. It's all very like much like your acting is immersive. These sets are shot almost entirely on like these abandoned like housing complexes in the desert.
Me and Scott took a couple trips, one with our production designer Perry Powell, one with our DP Erin Nafee. She was awesome. Both of them were awesome. But we took a couple trips and we scouted out all these places up the 395 north into the high California desert, and just tried stuff out and really tried to exhaust every option we could. And we kind of found this cool aesthetic thing about the movie where as you go along, it kind of like it morphs in a certain way, the landscapes and the world and the vibe. And so I don't want to give too much away, but I swear it'll be out soon. I swear.
Yeah. And
was it shot guerrilla style?
Yeah, we shot it in, I don't know if I'm allowed to say how many days. This is one of those things where I can't say the budget either. The budget is somewhere above Blair Witch and below Avatar. So
got it.
So that's a case of trying to sell this thing.
Clear. Very
and
clear.
That was a line I got from my friend Ben Weisner over at Vanishing Point. So I just had to thank you, Ben. I give credit where credit is due.
Vanishing Point, huh? That's a distributor, right?
It's a Vanishing Point or Vanishing Angle. I'm blanking.
Okay.
For this one. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it in the break, folks. I'm gonna get you all these names. I'm gonna get you all these names in the break. I promise.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, lots of good stuff going.
So much good stuff. Let's pull up the last clip that we have.
Okay.
And see if it
what do we
Jack,
got?
We're gonna throw you into the deep end, and Jack's gonna ask a question based on this clip.
Okay, well, is this from what's this from?
It's a clip called Buzzkill. And I don't want you to set it up.
Okay, let's
don't. All right, Paul. Hit it.
Welcome to Chicago. The murder capital of America. These are the scumbags. This ruthless gang has taken over the city, and it's their kind of town. A new drug plagues the streets.
What is this? It comes from the mind of a man with a little imagination.
as the scumbags pollute the Windy City with their addictive and diabolical narcotics. He lived a drug-free life.
Can I get you something to drink?
Yeah, I'll have a beer. Root beer.
Until he was beaten, poisoned, and left for dead.
Drugs? Oh, cool.
Pushed to the limits of insanity.
Hey, I said no drugs!
He ended up in a living hell.
Just another junkie. No more drugs! Take the drugs! No more drugs! Take the drugs! No more drugs! No more drugs!
Now, back on the streets.
Hey, you want a hit?
He's coming after them, one by one. Carving a path of revenge with a straight edge. Every doper, smoker, and drinker you get high for that ultimate thrill. Beware.
I'm too high to die!
The Buzzkill.
That was beautiful. That was fantastic. That was the greatest trauma film I've never heard of.
Thank you so much. You know who's going to love to hear that is the guy who directed it, shot it, did all the props for it. Kyle Williamson did a beautiful job on it. And again, that was like another Chicago love letter we made back in 2016 for pizza lunches. And just all our friends are in it. Some Chicago heavies, Nick and Ashley from Bric-a-Brac are in it. Yeah, just a bunch of people I know in there.
That's such a great homage to just like all sorts of 90s horror films, like just flying by the seat of your pants. We want to make a movie. Here's what we have to make this movie, and it just really has that vibe to it. So that was so much fun.
It feels like, to me, like I always said, it felt like what do you call it? Like John Carpenter with one of those VHS recorders. You know what I mean? If he started in that era, the movie would have come out like this, and it's still got that 80s.
It has that soundtrack like a John Carpenter film.
Absolutely, 70s, 80s flavor, and it's got that brutalism of like movies like we were seeing coming up, and
or like fun one. Early Wes Craven types of stuff too.
Oh hell yeah, and Brian De Palma, and you know. Just like it wants to push it. It wants to see how could it be funny? Can it be schlocky? Can it be scary? Can it be a little bit all that? You know what I mean? So I love it. And some of my favorite dialogue to like do, because it was just like bumper sticker, man. Like I'm too high to die. That's all I have. Like this is a good day, you know.
It's great because that's the sort of film where it just it cuts through to the simplicity of it. It's like it's not about we need to write the greatest script. It's we want to make a movie.
It's like I want you to get this joke instantly, and then I want to surprise you in the joke. And it's got a brutal, funny sense of humor. Oh, Sam Raimi, like the early Evil Dead shit. It reminds me of that, where the guy's like reinventing how you can cut shit, and you know what I mean, just throwing shit in to freak you out. And I loved working on it too, just running around. That one was
blood splatter stuff,
completely guerrilla. And Jack, let me tell you, that chainsaw got some looks on the blue line. Okay?
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, we were shooting.
Where on the blue line were you? Where were you?
I think we got on at Washington. You know, the blue red line, long tunnel, so we could go get one shot on each, and you know, do it when everyone was off. It was like late at night.
I was gonna ask, was this like 3 a.m?
This is, I can't remember exactly when, but it was just like a slow time. And there's one guy asleep on the train. And as we were shooting it, he woke up and looked at me and goes, "You should say I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker." And I was like, all right, I'll try it, dude. That was a good idea. I'm going to try it once. You know? But we stuck with I'm too high to die. But that was a good It's good to burn it though. Come on.
Without a doubt. Believe it or not, that was actually a weird kind of cousin film to Scrapers for me. I feel that you were working. Yeah, you were doing that, and you were doing the first season of a TV show, I believe. And I just kind of felt like it was all happening at the same time, and it was really sweet.
Bouncing around. That was really fun. That was really nice. And that one was like quick run and gun. You only got so much time to do it, and like quick little lines here. And then ours, we'd spend all day figuring out a cool scene. We'd work it over and over. We'd try new stuff, and so it was like a nice balance of having. And then the TV one was just like TV, So it was nice to have a balance of all those things going on, different characters, different styles.
Well, and as far as being in Chicago, that's like you're really covering the gamut when you're doing all three of those things. Like that's a big cut of the swath, I guess. So
totally. Yeah, and you know me, I never try to do the same thing twice. So Immersive was been great about that too, because it'd be like romantic comedy movie, and then I'd play a clown in the 1930s, and then I'd be a heavy. And in the 1990s, then I'd be a heavy in the 1940s. You know what I mean? So at least I was like jumping through time and space, and shaved my head for this one. I'm in a grunge band for a month. That was fun.
Are you going to be doing live? Is there any live theater in store now that things are opening up? Are you starting to talk about stuff with people?
That's slowly coming back in, and it's cool to see the community start coming back together. A lot of it of immersive theater was moving towards like semi-permanent installations where these places would be set up, and you could go during the day, or you can go at set nights, and treat it more like a living location. Right. So that's starting to come back now, and I'm starting to see my friends go back to work. And my year is just going to be hustling Anchorage mostly, and then otherwise I am doing some voice acting for this company I have an NDA with, so I will tell you later.
Well, we're gonna have you back in August, so that's a done deal. We'll
and if I can bring my buddy Scott Monahan, who I made Anchorage with too, that would be awesome.
We should be able to talk about all this stuff by August, right? Like
there'll be a lot of fun stuff to talk about by August.
Yeah. And we haven't done a repeating guest yet, so when we do, Jack, there won't be this solo show. We're going full crazy horse. We're gonna bring the band in. We'll rock and roll. Unless you don't feel like it, unless you're like, I really like.
I'll bring my Neil Young, I'll bring Steven Stills, and I'll bring my Young. You know what I mean? We'll get all four of us going in here. We'll have CSNY going in here. How's that for a throwback?
It won't be long.
That's right.
It won't be long.
As I'm not still. All along the lee shore.
I'll make the tea.
Hell yeah.
Dude, you're such a Graham Nash, Jack. You're such a Graham Nash. You're total Nash, bro.
I'm the nice one. God damn it. I'm very salty, but I'm the nice one.
It's better than being Stills, who can play like a motherfucker but can't speak. He just can't say anything anymore. It sounds like.
It's better than
he plays like he ever did.
He plays.
He rock and rolled hard, man.
It's better than being David Crosby, who no one has any good things to say about.
Well, that's all you, baby boy. You be Crosby.
I want you to play David Crosby.
More like the Walrus and the Carpenter thing. I really like that whole thing. That whole effect he's got. Heck yeah.
Well, I have a little bit of news since we're coming to the end of this, and we're going to have a little bit, our little wrap up thing that we do.
Cool.
But Lord knows we could sit here and talk for hours and hours and hours.
I know, it's my favorite thing to do.
It may be something that we do because August is my birthday month, and so I'm getting some people back, some people that I know I can talk to for a very long time. And if the crowd is down, we may, go long, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. So I definitely want to have you back. In terms of this show, I am going to introduce a little something we're calling, if I can find the brand, Film Stuff Light. Not live. I'm going to start coming on every day. I want to start making videos, talking about stuff. Everything's opening up. There's so much to talk about. And when we have guests, all I want to do is talk about what the guests are doing and their thoughts on things. But as far as like Amazon and MGM and all this kind of film stuff, I'm going to be on. I haven't picked a date yet. I'm going to be starting on Monday. I don't know if it's going to be at 1 p.m. Central or when. Everyone on this screen has an open invite if you want to come hang out and chat. Obviously, definitely if you're free, Jack, come talk shop with me. I don't know if you're busy
Run home
with life
Jack.
and stuff like that.
Run home, Jack.
Run home, Jack.
Either way, I just want to
It
have a
all
little
comes
bit
back to Hook.
Yeah, it all comes back. See what I'm saying?
always. I just want to have a little bit more of a presence online, and I love doing this weekly, and I feel like I'm okay at screaming into a camera by myself for a little while, especially.
Ain't it fun to scream into a camera right past it? You
I
just
just
get the
have-
eyes right, you know, scream
As-
right past it.
But again, open invite if you guys are free.
Heck
We'll be
yeah.
doing Film Stuffs Light starting next week, so we can just keep it going. But Film Stuffs Live still every Thursday. Next week is Film Stuff So Far Volume 2, where we're showing shorts and some episodes of Clean Sheets, and we're going to have guest Simone Kissel around to pick up questions and all that good stuff. So that's my news. That's my little spiel for the as we wrap around here.
Whoa, we have lots of great stuff to look forward to. So
Yeah.
please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. You can watch us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch. Subscribe. Ring that bell. Who rang
Ring
that
it.
bell?
Smash it. Smash a like or two.
That's right.
And share, of course. And if you want to help the program, then you can kick us some money this way on Venmo at Jelly Roll Chicago, because that helps to keep the program going so that we can keep streaming on this great platform, StreamYard, that we use, and so that we can someday be the official epicenter of all independent cinema, and that we can host all of the independent movies.
Well said, Jack.
Hell yeah. And next week's guest on The Welk Show will be Miss Rosemary Clooney. Tune in.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm actually thrilled. We have June is almost completely filled out, and
Hell
then
yeah.
I'm going to be sending out a bunch of emails for July, and then I got a couple of guests for August, including you and Scott.
And I got some friends I got to send your way too. I know some people would love to chit chat with you.
I can't wait. We're here. We're here for the long haul. I love it.
Love it, friends.
It's
Yeah,
so much fun.
Thank you guys so much for inviting me. This is really a blast. And
Anytime.
a trip down memory lane, and it was cool to be like, "This is your life," and be like, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I was in that," and like trying to
Look how
remember.
much you've done. Look how much you did.
It's been a busy. I guess that was
What a
going
career.
back, dude. That was going back to like 2006. So that's 5 years of work. Not bad.
It's all right.
And that doesn't show all the immersive shows. So I'm keeping busy. I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Best is yet to come.
And let's keep busy. You know, let's get on to the next one. You know me.
Yeah.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I'm liable to have it. So.
We got NDAs coming up, baby. There's the real stuff
And
happening.
we got release dates, we got announcements, and we all got fun stuff coming up. So let's just keep it going and keep in the loop. And otherwise, I'll see you in Anchorage.
It's beautiful.
How about
all right. I love it. Well, I mean, we should just end it, but what are we watching? Are we gonna let's
What
do
are
a
we
little
watching
round?
today?
Yeah. What are you watching? Well, what have you been watching this week? What's been on your TV? What have you been watching?
Wow. I've been doing some research into the guy who invented the deprivation tank, who turned out to be a pseudoscientist, and he tried to run this program that was sponsored by like an Ivy League school where we created a language where we could talk to dolphins. And I'm really interested by this story for a lot of reasons.
This isn't the one that gets strangely sexual with the dolphin, does it?
Oh, it certainly does.
I know exactly this story.
The Dolphin House is what it's about. And I just think there's some really interesting pulp in this story. So I've been really digging into that one, and a lot of pseudoscience and theocracy and just like weird LA-based pseudo religions that started up, you know, in the late 50s, early 60s, 70s, and so that's what I'm watching documentaries on that.
Well, that's
fascinating.
Yeah, YouTube and documentaries. That's what I usually am doing.
That's so dangerous.
I
Get
know,
into that
I
loose
know.
change, right?
I know.
Show me a dollar bill. Show me a dollar bill.
I know. You just keep going.
Well, where
Pull out
does
a
this
50.
go? Where does this go?
Yeah, totally. It's like he's giving the dolphin acid. How? So,
and then you find out that you're typing in searches on how to seduce dolphins.
It's like, why
this
did
has
he-
gone
It's not
too
hard.
far.
why did he think this was a good idea? Oh, he was also the foremost expert on ketamine. Okay. Okay. But anyway,
Logical lines.
one of these things might lead to the other, but I don't know.
That goes into I watched the Rodney Asher documentary Glitch in the Matrix
Cool.
recently.
Cool.
Also about having sex with dolphins?
No.
What the Matrix is what you make of it, I
You
guess.
see, Your brain thinks this is tasty wheat, okay? But my brain thinks it's a dolphin.
Sometimes a dolphin is just a dolphin.
This is the cat that made the Room 237 documentary and the sleep paralysis nightmare film. And he does, I want to meet him. I want to talk to him. And I don't want to what's the best way to say this? His concepts are incredible and his execution is not quite there. So I'm a guy who, when you watch these kind of documentaries, I want to believe. I super want to believe, and I love talking about simulation theory. And he just kind of got 4 randos, not even anyone who's a specialist in it. It's just 4 people who think they're in the Matrix, and kind of just
okay,
went into it. The good stuff though is that they talk a lot about Philip K. Dick and how Dick was working a lot of stuff out, and that The Man in the High Castle was based on memories that he actually had. He had this blip in the 70s for a day, and he remembered all these things from past lives.
That's when he wrote Velas in one day.
Well, there's another one. It's a policeman about a
Stop my tears.
Yes.
Flow my tears, the policeman said.
Yeah. So that was the stuff that was the most interesting to me. Was the Philip K. Dick stuff. Like I said, I want to believe. They interview someone who wrote, and it's so quick, the good stuff they don't stick on, which is my problem. But one person wrote a subreddit that was I'm an NPC in real life. Ask me anything.
Whoa.
And they went into it, and I there's some we don't have much time on this show left, so I can't really get into my own thoughts on simulation theory. That being said, I do need to push this. The first thing he did was a movie. I can't remember the name of it, but it's called The Evil S or The Yellow S. And it is a short film. It's the best thing he ever did. And it is about the Screen Gems logo that followed a certain era of Bewitched episodes and certain sitcoms. You know how at the end of it, it's sit, Ubu, sit, or one of those things.
Yeah.
It's this yellow S that comes down and it goes da-da-da, 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 this very synthy moogie. It's a Moog tune. And it used to give people nightmares. And people were terrified to watch Bewitched because of the end of the credits when it would have this yellow S. And he talked to a bunch of people. And that's when I first found out about him, because he's capable of doing some really amazing stuff. And his concepts are so good. And Room 237 is almost a good movie. And The Nightmare is almost a good movie. And this Glitch in the Matrix movie is almost a good movie. And if you can find the yellow S, I'll try and post it.
From thing to shining thing.
This is you saying that in Scrapers. Actually,
that's right.
I got this text message from Luke. He texted me earlier. He caught himself singing that the other day, just while making breakfast.
Keeping the dream alive. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching, Luke. So yeah, that's my. Like I said, I really want to like him, and like I said, and we can go into simulation theory, but maybe that's for the first Film Stuffs light, a little light entertainment for everybody.
Beautiful, love it.
Jack, Jack.
What are you watching, Jack? Yeah.
My Octopus Teacher.
Beautiful.
Which is kind of like a combination of the two things that both of you just talked about.
I've heard this title. What is this?
Ways,
It is on Netflix, and it is a good concept, and it is almost a good movie. And at the same time, it's kind of like Hook in that it's about a man who is admitting that he's even been neglecting being around his family. So he has an affair. It's kind of an emotional affair, but it's with an octopus.
Is this a doc?
Yes.
Yes.
No, it's not.
It just won the Oscar for Best Doc.
Yes, it is a documentary.
No, it didn't just win the Oscar.
It certainly did,
And he basically stalks an octopus, and he even has this cold case file where he's putting strings together. It's I have to think like an octopus. And I know that I'm being a little bit cynical in the way that I'm describing it. because that's not quite what it's about, but that's kind of what it's about.
Oh, hell yeah.
I hate when that happens. It's actually really incredible that does what you described. Absolutely feels like the exact midpoint of what me and Dakota just
It's like we got that Venn diagram.
We have
I mean, it's really. I said we joke and we do a lot of hyperbole because it's how we riff, but I'm really not being hyperbolic. It is quite the cross section of the two films that both of you have described, because I wanted to enjoy it and I wanted to not be cynical about it. And it is kind of very beautiful the way that this man does seem to have a connection with this other being, and you get to experience, you think about sentience, and it is, what's real? What is our experience? What is the human experience? What is the experience of other animals on this earth?
Yeah.
Do robots dream of electric sheep? It's that type of thing. So it's a very interesting concept, and it just doesn't quite land where you want it to.
Such
or where
a bummer.
I gotta watch all these. Watch all these.
That being said,
you know what the movie is that lands between all three of our movies, though?
Hook.
What?
No, that's great, but the answer is The Incredible Mr. Limpet, starring Don Knotts, where he turned into a cartoon fish.
That
I
is,
still haven't seen
It
that.
annoys some people. It's hard to be cynical about because he wants to be the fish that he wants to love. He's looking for love. He also tries to love a fish. Just like let's put it lightly, he falls in love with the fish. So
he sleeps with the fishes.
That he almost. Well, we don't want to give away the ending. He might make it out alive. We're not sure.
All right. Well, I wrote this
Terrifying.
down because this is a line that is said right at the beginning of the film, and you be the judge for yourself. You feel you're on the brink of something extraordinary, but you realize that there's a line that can't be crossed.
Am I the octopus? Or I'm
That
the
just
guy?
sounds like a Netflix thing, like Netflix.
I think I'm the octopus, and the line is Annette, actually, and that's it. I think that's what that is. He got me.
Netflix has this candy floss.
Why can't
thing.
they do it from the point of view of the octopus? You know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. Let's see a new take on. Okay, like it's like that line Margaret Atwood had about like in her master class about like, oh, you want to do Red Riding Hood? Here's how you do Red Riding Hood. It was dark in the belly of the wolf. Okay, that's how you start.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like, oh, what did I learn in my film 101 class? Here's how you write your thesis out for you.
Yeah, you know how they do Toy Story now? In time for a political uprising, the toys get through it, they make it back, Woody and Buzz. Then the other toys push them out the window. No more 1%er toys.
Oh boy.
We all live in peace. Potato Head, Slinky Dog, all the army men. Everyone lives in peace.
This is getting real political for this show.
That we
Okay?
talked about when we made Everyone Agrees It's About to Explode. That was an actual conversation we had. Like, how do you end Toy Story the right way, man? For the revolution,
That's funny.
Life's funny, baby.
I wonder if they'll ever get to that Truman Show sequel that I thought was going to be a solid one, where you just kind of follow his life after
The Truman Show.
after the snap.
Thank you. I do
Give
live in
him,
LA.
give him your money, ladies and gentlemen. Give him all your money.
I do
Jesus
taglines,
Christ.
guys.
This is why you are tied to NDAs right now.
I do love taglines. You know what I mean? One of my favorite taglines is Royal Tenenbaum. It's family ain't a word. It's a sentence. That's a great one.
That's really funny. Yeah. That sounds very Netflixy to me, where it's like, if you just brush it past me, it makes perfect sense. But then if you actually think about what they're saying for like a hot second, it's like, yeah, no shit. What are you talking about? There's no lines to be crossed with an octopus. Like,
No, don't think about it. Continue watching.
But I want to think about what you just said. Don't.
No.
Keep watching.
I know this is a documentary, but
Keep watching.
But
Come
they
on,
make
Bezos on our ass.
they
Keep
make
watching.
several allusions to the idea of it being a relationship.
Well,
Like,
anyone
a
wants
very emotional relationship, and I can't say that it's not one, and part of that is the beauty of filmmaking.
Right.
But other times it does feel a little bit pandering to that idea, and that concept just doesn't work.
Well, bottom line, anyone out there wants a good movie that could be challenging, that's about humans and fish and love in between, The Incredible Mr. Limpet, 1958, starring Don Knotts.
And on that note,
I wish I were a fish. Because fishes have a better life than people.
Watch Clean Sheets on YouTube. Watch Scrapers on Prime. Watch Love Shot on Prime. Watch Anchorage when it comes out. Find Kiss Like Big Dogs somewhere. And Buzzkill somewhere. Actually, is Buzzkill just the trailer, or they tried to make it a movie, or
Buzzkill is a concept trailer as of now. I don't know what's going on.
If anyone wants to give it money, just find Buzzkill. You know that's what he can do with nothing. So
yeah, and a big
imagine what he had with something.
Absolutely, come on now. And a big round of applause to our host Jake, and also to Jack for all the help. Come on, big round of applause out there in TV land. Thank you guys so much for having me. This is such a blast, buddy.
This is the most fun ever. You're coming back. I insist you come back.
Oh, I'm crashing on your couch. I'll be
beautiful. Well, you are going to be crashing on our couch, and we will talk about when you come to Nowhere, Illinois, to film this movie, my third feature, and we're going to record the whole damn thing.
Did someone say Illinois?
Yeah.
There it is.
Favorite actor, Dennehy. Favorite
drink, old duels. Bears, Hawks, Sox, Bulls.
All right. Any final words, Dakota or Jack?
Jack, go ahead.
Final word is tune in next Thursday evening at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central for Film Stuffs So Far. 2 films, 2 Furious, where we look back at the greatest hits that we've been talking about this past month with our wonderful guests, and we encourage you to watch on YouTube, where you will be able to stream that in the highest definition, and then we will talk about the wonderful filmmakers on the show and give you their information, but please give them a little bit of contribution to say thank you for your work and to say thank you for coming on our program.
Yeah.
Hey, and if I don't see you later, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
All right, everyone.
Jim Carrey.
And we'll see you in the future.
What's that billowing down the stairs? Look, I'm really starting to worry. There's half-eaten cupcakes everywhere. We're all out of paper clips. And the curtains smell like dude. What? No. No. What? No. What? Well, that's where I used to grow my weed. But that's a story for another day. Never mind, never mind. We drove around until 3 a.m. looking for another all-you-can-eat fish restaurant.
And when you couldn't find one?
We went fishing. Yes, I have something that I'd like to sell.
Please tell me it's your hair.
No.